Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is April 14th, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see Seattle here getting some nice sunny skies across a lot of the Puget Sound, but we do have some fog infiltrating in through the Chehalis Gap a bit and some of the coastal areas, and we have thunderstorms ongoing, continuing across southern Oregon. We had several rounds of thunderstorms yesterday as well, some prolific lightning producers in there, and we're going to do something similar again today as far as the lightning is concerned, probably in this axis here across Oregon towards Idaho. We'll take a look at that in some detail here as we go through the video this morning. You can see some of the nice snow-capped mountains across the Cascades, and there's Mount Rainier right here. Some valley fog is out and about there. Could be including some of the I-5 corridor here, and you can see Oregon, western Oregon, still under the mid and high-level clouds associated with this system down off the coast of California. Now, if we take a look here, I'm going to scroll all the way back towards yesterday, and we can see all this thunderstorm activity come up and a lot of lightning strikes associated. In fact, let's do this, and let's go ahead and put the lightning strikes on here as well. And if I go back and forth, you can see all the lightning flashes that were going on yesterday afternoon on into the evening hours, and another one very late last night. And then you can see the thunderstorm activity still ongoing as we speak this morning, mainly across southern Oregon. And we're going to pop off a few storms again today, like I mentioned. And if you want to become a Skywarn spotter, check it out. Look at these dates here. National Weather Service, Seattle. You still can get on here and sign up. And they're all done online. And you can see the times here as well. You can check out this weather site here. Now, taking a look here at the showers and isolated thunderstorms, kind of showing you where they're expected today. Up towards Spokane, maybe including the Tri-Cities and Walla Walla, Dayton. You can't rule out a thunderstorm, Pendleton, and maybe again for Bend. And of course, ongoing right now across some of southern Oregon. And you might get some small hail, gusty winds, and brief heavy rain with this activity. And then we're going to be kicking off the winds here as we go on in through tonight and on in through Monday and Tuesday. Some pretty good gusts rolling in here. And you can see it's going to affect I-90, 84, 82, Highway 97, and 14 as well. More on that here in a moment also, and you can see Spokane calling attention to that also down the east slopes of the Cascades, and pretty gusty winds as we go through tonight, Monday and Tuesday, as we've got a system, a trough kind of moving down across the northern portions of the area. I'll show you that here on the 500 millibar map, and check it out. Look at Helena today, 77 degrees, but look, by the time we get towards Wednesday, 45. We're cooling things way down across portions of Montana. Pretty chilly air mass rolling in here. This is the same one that's going to be kicking off those winds across eastern Washington and Oregon. And some late, as we get into later next week, some lows down in towards the low 20s for some areas as well. And if you want a nice portable home weather station to record all this crazy weather we get here across Pacific Northwest, check this one out. Click on that link down below to save 10% off. And you've got an ultrasonic anemometer, a haptic rain gauge, and a great smartphone app that stores all the data for you in the cloud. Now, taking a look here, there's a storm off the coast of California that's been kicking off those thunderstorms. And again, one more day associated with that thunderstorm activity with this system. But as we scroll off in towards tomorrow, you'll notice the next system here. Check out this gradient. It's going to kick off across the area. And it's going to be a bit moisture starved, but it is going to kick off the winds, bring a little bit of mountain snow to some of the areas as well. We'll take a look at that coming up here. And then we may try to build a ridge as we go through the end of next week. And we'll see, and we'll watch this day by day to see what this trough is going to do out here also, and how long this ridge is going to hang out. Is it going to allow us to have a nice weekend? All good questions. We'll make sure to kind of break that down day by day to let you know what's coming. But taking a look at the 80-meter wind speed. So I want to show you what's going on here. And again, we're going to be dealing with some of this thunderstorm activity across Oregon and towards Idaho and potentially into Washington. But as we go through tonight, you can really see the westerlies kick off across a lot of the east slopes of the Cascades of Washington, Oregon. That's probably the wind farms out there, great energy production. You have some convergent zone activity here across western Washington as we go through tomorrow as well. You can see the westerlies coming down the Strait of Juan Fuca and through the Chehalis Gap. They're going to be meeting somewhere here across the Central Sound and probably enhancing some of the snowfall across the Cascades as well. But look at this. Those winds last all the way through Monday here. Now we're going into Monday night, Tuesday. Then they kind of kick up again here as we go on in through Tuesday afternoon, also kind of keeping things blustery out there. Now take a look at the 2-meter 24-hour temperature change. So I want to kind of show you what's coming here as we go into tomorrow. Look at some of these temperature differences. It's showing up around 20-degree difference in 24-hour temperatures here across some portions of western Washington, the Cascades. You're really going to feel this temperature change as we roll on into tomorrow. And then as we go on into Tuesday here, check it out for some of Alberta and Montana and Idaho. Things you're definitely going to feel this big change. I mean, let's look at some of these temperature drops across Alberta, 32, 33 degrees. Now, if we take a look at the composite reflectivity of the North American model, I'm going to put this into motion. You can see some of this thunderstorm activity ongoing as we speak. And then we're going to pop off some of these thunderstorms here again. And the NAM doesn't show much of this going on into Washington, but it does hit eastern Oregon, Idaho, and towards western Montana. And then we start to bring this next system here, and you can see the convergence zone setting up somewhere in the central Puget Sound, and again, probably enhancing some of that snowfall across the central Puget Sound as we go towards tomorrow afternoon and evening. Kind of see that convergent zone kind of persistent on into the night hours, and maybe even lingering on all the way into Tuesday morning before that system kind of kicks down across the region. But there's still some showers out there as we go through Tuesday afternoon as well. Just not a huge precipitation maker overall. And looking at the upper levels of the atmosphere, this is the North American model. Again, you can see the storm off the coast of California kicking off the thunderstorms today, but check out this cool air mass rolling down across the area, and that's what's going to be cooling us down and give these huge temperature drops over the next few days. Taking a look at total snow. So I want to kind of call attention here to some of the Cascades of Washington. We do get a bit of snow here, and we could get some locally heavier amounts again across the McKean County up towards Snoqualmie Pass between Snoqualmie and Stevens here. And depending on just how that convergence zone ebbs and flows here, maybe it'll hit Snoqualmie or Stevens Pass a little bit harder. But the main takeaway here is if you're out there hiking here on Monday, have a heads up for that, because there's going to be some snow flying on some of the old Lolly Lakes out there and some of the higher terrain between Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass. There's a lot of hikers out and about this time of year, and that might catch some people off guard if you're not watching the weather. Now, taking a look at total precipitation in inches, you'll kind of see how the thunderstorm activity here off to the east, and then the next system rolls through here. And again, kind of targeting the central Cascades, but kind of a moisture-starved system. They're not too impressive showing up, and what's to come in the future we'll be watching over the next few days as well. But take a look. I mean, get out there and enjoy it today. There are some nice warm temperatures out there. Look at this, maybe some 80s for eastern Washington, and watch what happens tomorrow. Look at that cool down here coming for western Washington, western Oregon. Eastern Washington's going to start to feel it, and by the time you get towards Tuesday, look, you're looking at some 80s, and now there's going to be some 50s out there. So yeah, definitely going to feel this cool down, and then we may start to bounce back as we go through the end of next week as we build another ridge here, kind of the ebb and flow here of springtime across the Pacific Northwest. But this looks kind of nice as we go towards the end of next week. Maybe have a nice weekend out of this. We'll see how that turns out. Look at this 6 to 10 day. You can kind of see that above average signal across much of the west coast through April 23rd. Here's the 6 to 10 day precipitation, below average signal for the west coast. And here's the 8 to 14 day, much of the west above average. And here we go with a little bit of a sliver for some below average here. We'll see how that turns out. Take that with a grain of salt at this range, of course. And here's something interesting since October 1st, average temperature departure from average. And you can see that much of Oregon since last October 1st has been above average. Some places significantly so, like some of the coastal areas pretty darn warm here. Some of the central Oregon Cascades a bit below average. And if we take a look at Washington, something similar there. East slopes of the Cascades been really warm. I mean, kind of typical for El Nino conditions here, but kind of noteworthy. You can see much of the state has been above average, some places substantially so. And if we take a look at percent of average precipitation since January 1st, pretty stark, look at that. 50 to 70% there across some of the central Puget Sound, including Seattle, down towards Tacoma, some of the Cascades. And when you go a little bit further east, you get lesser amounts to the east. So this doesn't mean quite as much. It's not like, it doesn't take that much to kind of skew some of these numbers here. This is a little bit concerning here across some of the Cascades in some of western Washington. But Oregon is a little bit different story. You can kind of see that a lot of western Oregon's been doing quite well, between 100 and 130% of normal. A little kind of a interesting signal there right on the coast, kind of a small signal, but some of the Cascades aren't doing too bad as well. And again, kind of a mixed bag here east of the mountains. But yeah, get out there and enjoy today, because you're definitely going to feel the cool down as we go through tomorrow. Convergent zone activity, some gusty winds out there, and watch out, eyes on the sky across Oregon, maybe into southeast Washington, Idaho, and western Montana for those thunderstorms to pop up out and about out there. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. Get out and enjoy that sunshine while you can. We may warm up again next week, but you got to enjoy these nice days while we get them. So anyway, click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.